Welcome back to Fun Houses. To people in show business, Tim Conway is known as the comedian's comedian because he makes everyone laugh, even the pros. Who will ever forget his 11 years on the top-rated Carol Burnett show? Those memorable years earned Tim Conway 5 Emmy Awards and a gold star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. At home, Tim Conway put a few of his other talents to use, and funny as it might sound, some of them may surprise you.
So when it comes to doing athletic things like this, it's a natural for me.
The ability to make people laugh until their sides ache. That's Tim Conway's signature. An uncommon talent that has afforded him a comfortable life in the San Fernando Valley near Los Angeles. Inside, a traditional look belies the mischievous mind behind it.
This is a lovely room, and I'm so glad you came because I've never been in this room before, but it is beautiful. I love the woodwork and the bar area and everything, and it just looks so comfortable and so wonderful to be here.
He should know. He designed it. Tim Conway, the renowned comic, is one heck of a handyman and decorator. His 5,000-square-foot home was built in the late 1950s, and Tim and his wife moved in 1983. The great room is divided into comfortable sections and is Tim's pride and joy. In fact, he assisted contractors in refinishing.
The nightmare in decorating anything is the time that it takes. You know, especially if you're the kind of person I am, I would like to have it all done tomorrow. And sometimes they take, weeks or months. So that's why I helped a lot in redecorating this house and doing some of the work, because I just couldn't wait around for people to saw wood. Just nail the thing up and we'll saw it later.
Tim Conway's great room is well planned out. One side of it is occupied by a wooden booth, which used to be something altogether different.
This booth was originally a French bed, which I cut in half. The people were still in bed at the time, which was, as you can imagine, very painful. They got over that. I cut it in half, made 2 benches out of it, put a table in between, and now it's just kind of a little place to gather.
The central part of the great room is designed as a conversation area, an enclave formed by overstuffed chairs and sofas in soft cotton fabrics. And being the home of Tim Conway, it's not without its touch of humor. At one end of the room is a pool table and recreation area situated on an elevated platform that Tim designed.
People were falling off it. So I said, why don't we put a railing around here? That'll be good. And this also crimps you when you're playing pool. So we like to annoy people who do come over and play pool. And they do a lot of, oh, why don't you take this down? And I said, because it annoys you. And then they don't hang around as much, and they go home right away.
The other end of the great room features a full paneled bar, complete with an antique cash register and padded bar stools.
I wanted to open it every night at 5 so the people going home from work in this area could stop by, have a drink or whatever, socialize. And we do cash checks, too, which a lot of the houses in the valley don't do anymore. But we still cash checks here at this bar.
Adjacent to the bar is what Tim calls his brick room. Actually a family room. Its floor is designed of used brick, and the walls are covered with antique signs that Tim and his wife collect.
I opened the house up quite a bit. This room was not connected to that brick room when we first came in here. That brick room was actually a porch. I closed that in and made a room out of it, and then we put a little doorway in there so we could get into it. We had just closed it in, and we had no doorway. So for 2 years, it was just a room we couldn't get into. And then I said, why don't we put a doorway in, and we could go out there for a while. So we finally did. And that's why it looks so open now.
A few steps from the brick room, a vintage ticket booth stands in front of Tim Conway's office. The room is filled with reminders of the great comic's other 2 passions, both of which might surprise you. One is horse racing. The other becomes clear when you see the cushions on the office chair and seat covers throughout the house. It's sewing.
I really know how to sew. As a youngster, my mother was a seamstress, so she would take me out in the morning because she didn't want to leave me, but then not that anybody would take me, but she would go out in the morning, measure for slipcovers for people, bring it in the afternoon back home, sew them, and then take them back in the evening and put them on. I mean, she would make a slipcover in one day. That's how rapidly she worked. I guess that's where I got all my business of trying to do things rapidly. And I just naturally picked it up from watching her, so I can make slipcovers.
Tim Conway, the legendary comic performer, once longed to be a jockey and is still a racing fan.
the lamp I made, the table I made. The lamp is a pair of old boots that a jockey gave me from River Downs in Ohio. Some of the things on the table are just awards that I've received from the racing industry for benefits that I've done for racing and for the jockeys.
A public performer with a private passion that is reflected in the home that comedy built. Tim Conway considers himself a lucky man, and he believes that everyone should have fun when decorating their home.
I think to redecorate a house and just to have the confidence to make it what you want it to be. I mean, are you going to satisfy other people who come over? They're only over there for a couple of hours. You have to be in this thing all day. So everything that's in here, I'm very happy with. And I think part of the joy of enjoying a home is to get in and do a lot of it yourself. So it doesn't quite work out. So you don't quite get the paint on the wall and there's a little on the floor. So that's a nice touch. Leave it there.
And if anyone disagrees, take Tim Conway's advice. Laugh it off.